Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the StarCraft 2 World Championship Series Americas, where the A stands for acceptable. Sometimes I'm Nathanius, joined by Cats, as we move into the decider match, which ends up being a bit of a rematch here, Paolo.
It is the rematch.
The rematch to end all rematches.
I mean, I gotta say, you know, like Protoss, I saw this group and I'm like, oh, Protoss and Terran, there's no Zerg, you know, it's like kind of a bummer for me. But this particular series, these players, yeah, I mean, it's just the way it was meant to be. It is spicy and it is sad too. One of them will go home. I guess they're already home, but they'll go. they'll lock themselves in the room or something.
It's true. They're playing. They are playing from their homes. That's I've never thought about it like that. So you load into Future and MCanning. It's going to start off on Kairos Junction as we get into it. Yeah, been a good long day, of course. We're going to be live for the next 3 days. You'll be able to see us on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can go back to your jobs on Monday, and you'll have to wait a little bit longer for more WCS. But then GSL versus the World is going to be starting, I think, next week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Roddy is flying up there real soon. Our boy Carrie on Blizzard Esports teams heading up there. Going to be making sure everybody's ready to rock and roll.
Non-stop action.
Speaking of rolling, in the top left, we've got our Red Terran player. He is Future.
And the man on the bottom right-hand side of the map, it is Chivos MCanning.
MCanning. One man, one desire. To lead America back to StarCraft greatness. He will topple all who oppose him and defeat the Dark Lord Cyril to reclaim his country's former glory.
The Dark Lord Cyril. Yeah, but
well, we can't call him the Night King anymore because that's really underwhelming now.
I suppose it is, yeah.
That was a really cool nickname until that terrible season aired.
Yeah. Oh, no spray meta here. Only the Hearthstone spray coming back. So Future not changing it up for a third time.
Was it? Wait, Future? Wasn't Future Heroes of the Storm
before?
before?
Then he switched it to Hearthstone for the last series. So I thought he might change it again, but he
could have switched to like a Warcraft spray.
That would, that would be the next level.
He's trying to make him. He's like, you see, he's like little Hearthstone. He's like, oh my god. He's like, am I gonna be? He's gonna top deck me? Like, am I gonna try to make my push and then mysterious stranger steps out of nowhere and all of a sudden there's like 8 traps and I'm just dead?
Yeah, I mean, what can you do against someone that has Dwayne the Rock Johnson in his corner? You know.
That's a very good point. I would not bet against that man.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Tier 3 subscriber, you said.
Yeah. Hey, man.
Oh, that was good. All right, so this Reaper. MCanning hasn't had much luck dealing with the Reapers this game. I feel like he's lost 1 or 2 probes every time.
Yeah, especially since this isn't proxy. That's just, you hate to see it. Really good control out of Future. And Canman's been keeping the world safe and entertaining people in between the games today. So he's, it's been a little bit of a tough run for him. But he clawed his way back in that very long match against Rob earlier.
Yeah.
Looks like this Reaper is going to be able to slip out after getting those 2 probe kills. So really nice start because he also saw the Twilight Council with that. We should be expecting. Probably Blink is like the normal thing to do, but at the same time, I'm like,
which Blink though?
Yes, exactly.
You know, Future, they were there was a little bit of banter in the pregame. Future was in the lobby. Future was asking MCanning whether he would go for DTs a 3rd time, and he said he's calling his bluff. So I would love for MCanning to double, and it will be Blink.
Double bluff and get DTs anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the thing that makes the most sense for Future is honestly just get a couple tanks and do that Raven push again. Like just do that Marine tank Raven attack because he did it very well the first time.
Yeah, he sure did.
His Dorito cannon usage was on point.
Yeah, there's something to be learned as well as far as Astrea's approach, right? I feel like he just had Future's numbers through and through, so MCanning had to have been watching closely as well. I wonder if he's gonna pick up a trick here and there.
Yeah, that was a rough match. I love Astrea though, because that's one of the cool things is he's a weird player. I think the first thing that we saw him do when he first qualified for Challenger was he had a PvT, and he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna go Nexus first. Into like Mass Zealot off like a 2-base, like 10-gate charge slot all in. It's just like that's the type of stuff that he does.
Yeah.
And it is crazy.
It is crazy indeed. Very fast third, and this is kind of reminiscent of what Astrea was doing a little bit too.
Yep, super economic focus.
Yeah, there's gonna be this Widowmine drop as well, but the can didn't go for the Blind Phoenix, and you know, like I feel like Future has been doing Widowmine drops a lot against Protoss today, so I feel like the Phoenixes would be a safe bit of an opener as well, but you know.
Yeah, if you can keep the Blink Stalkers in a good position, then I don't hate it, because the Phoenix is not really like a big thing for the fight. It is nice for stopping the drops, but if he can make the Blink be enough, then it's a huge win for him.
Because then you have the ground army to push with.
Yeah, so he follows up into charge, and when a Terran player tries to take a third, that's when you make your big push, which is why a lot of Terran players don't take thirds anymore. They just go for these big 2-base attacks.
I see.
But it's really hard, because Future might be starting his third when MCanning's third is like saturated. And that's, you hear a lot of complaints because he's going to drop both mines to kill.
Definitely killed it.
Yeah. But that's what the pylon is so nice for, because he just knows. So, you can bring the Stalkers over. One of them's on cooldown. So, like, what can he really do with this?
Not much of anything, really. He's just gonna sit there and wait and hope that his opponent forgets or thinks that the threat is mitigated. I would have liked for the medevac to fake going back first and then loop back in.
Cats, you want to know the 3000 IQ play?
Yeah?
See that dark left spot at the main base? There's a little dark spot. You drop both mines and burrow them there. Fly the medevac to the east, and then boost it back and bait the Blink into the mines.
Oh, that is the next level play. Absolutely, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, that's my 300 IQ play. Or you could do what Future's doing and just bring 4 mines and another medevac that gets spotted by a Phoenix immediately.
Yeah. There is something proxied on the top right-hand side of the map.
It's a gate. I think he's building a random gateway there.
Okay, and what's that do?
I think he just wants to be able to flank if he tries to siege him from the north side.
Cool. I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty clever. It's a good idea.
Yeah, I think so, and I think that's what we're gonna see, right? It's exactly that position is the most annoying one to take. It's a very straight path.
Yeah, so he could warp in around a charge lots from the north side and go straight down on him.
Yeah,
it looks like he's actually going to go for the natural ramp. Gotta be careful. Gotta spot that. The mines are going to the third base.
Yeah, it all gets spotted, and I think the problem for Future and why he's not using that position is because there's no Liberators or tanks.
Wow, his Dorito cannon is nothing, by the way.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, wow. Maybe that was the mind game. That was the ultimate.
The ultimate mind game.
The ultimate mind, the mind game. Oh, wow. And at the same time, Future is going to find the space to go directly into the main. And he's going to hold a really annoying choke. He will get rid of the Cyber Core as well. So this is pretty huge for him.
Yeah, this is rough. Because of that feedback too, I don't even think it was a storm. So, yeah, no storm. So he's like, I just run my bio around. He's about to lose his escape option. But he's like, I'm just going to keep stutter stepping the Marines. He wants to get to the probes, kill more and more probes. He has done devastating damage.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think that he could have fought with that army once he recognized that he had no way out. He was never going to load more than 8 people in the medevac in the best case scenarios.
Kill all the Marines? Okay, yeah, he did.
This Widowmine is serving nice.
These mines are being really annoying.
Right, Storm is available here, I believe, from MCanning. Future is going to retreat a little bit. And he's put himself in a wonderful position in the most standard game we've seen between these two.
Yep. Very straightforward. I mean, Future's macro is just really strong, so it's a really hard position to be in for any opponent. Storm's kind of first one comes in. There's still 3 active mines anchoring this position, so... Whoa, that one gets both sentries. and splashes all over the Protoss army. But yeah, Future just executes this extremely well. There's a cheeky little Zealot counter, but it is not going to be enough, I don't think. If Future just continues to apply any pressure, I feel really good about his possibilities. In this situation, the ideal move would just be to try and split up like a second drop to go to the main, so that the High Templar can't just splash the whole army.
Or hit up Dwayne.
Or hit up Dwayne. Exactly. Yeah, you better hope that MCanning doesn't use his ultimate.
That's his ultimate?
Just summons the rock onto the field. It's basically Exodia.
Yeah. Exodia. That's... I still don't...
It's the forbidden one.
Okay.
It's basically... It's like the ultimate Ex Machina of that show. Is that if you had all 5 cards in your hand, you just instantly win the game.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. It literally existed for like... It's just an Ex Machina because he didn't know how to play the game. And then as soon as he started learning, like, someone just stole all the cards and threw them off a boat into the ocean. Yeah, Titanic style.
Titanic style?
Yeah, no, literally, just like that. Someone just grabs them all and just throws them over the edge.
Right. This is some not very decisive play by Future. I'm not sure what made him not unload his entire army there.
Probably the same thing that made him not finish off that next.
Yeah, that was weird, man. It's like...
He was like, you know what, I want to play a 2.5 hour long 3-map game series.
I mean, he had the perfect opportunity to unload all of it just now, right?
Yeah, and put the mines on the ramp.
Yeah. That would have been game ending.
To end this game, though, he just needs a few ghosts. That's what he's getting. 2 ghosts are about to finish. That's all he really needs. A couple EMPs on those Templar, and this game is over. So, let's see if he can land them, because it's the Storm. That's the only thing that's keeping him canning in this game. And I see 5 High Templar, and those 5 High Templar cats, they're very close together. They're huddled for warmth like penguins in the Arctic.
They sure are. Do they really do that, penguins in the Arctic?
I mean, any living creature, yeah. There's most creatures I'm aware of huddle together if it's really cold, especially mammals.
Well,
it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense, but I assume these creatures are, you know, they live in the Arctic, like if not by choice because they're adapted to it, right? Like,
well, part of that adaptation may be that they share body heat cats.
Yeah, I mean I'm not denying it. I'm asking whether this is a fact or it's.
I'm pretty sure they. I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Okay.
And he's going to walk into Liberators here to try and stop this. He drops some good storms over the bio. The Immortals are doing a really good job of trucking through, but as they get focused down, that's where like a lot of the wind comes out of the sails. Once the storms are gone, though, wave of bio reinforcements comes over. The rest of the Immortals are dead. It's just Stalkers and a few Warping Archons. Not going to be enough. GG. Future picks up the first map in our Decider series. Very well played. Just very clean. Good usage of the mine drops. The first drop got spotted by the pylon. Waited very patiently, goes with the second drop, doesn't siege 2 of the mines for some reason, doesn't matter, gets the other drop into the main.
It was the mine game.
Yeah, and then he just macros up. Like, you notice Future's one of those guys that kind of reminds me stylistically, if it's a bit of like a bomber thing, like whenever he makes a push, I'm like, that's more units than I thought I would see with this push. He's going to move out, and I'm like, okay, I expect like maybe 6 Marauders, 15 Marines, but he's got 15 Marauders and like 20, 22 Marines. I'm like, okay, yeah, and I will say, compared to most NA Terrans, when I think about the biggest screw-ups they make, I'm like, Masa, he's always losing his medevacs, and he's always like really overstimmed. But I look at Future's army, I'm like, no, there's like 10 medevacs with this army. Like, his army's totally fine. Yeah, he stims a lot, but like doesn't even matter at that point. So just very, very clean, big army control, good macro.
I think he mind games himself a lot. You know, like with the Nexus or with the drop, it's like I'm not sure what triggers the thought of do not kill that Nexus.
There's a little bit of, it must be a little bit of panic sometimes. Yeah, I think the nerves are still at play a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Because there's, in any situation, if you're calm, you're like, killing this Nexus wins me the game.
Yeah, I think so. Same with the drop, right? Like that was strange to me, but maybe it wasn't so bizarre. Maybe he needed to wait for the
drop.
ghost.
At least makes some sense because maybe he's worried that like there's a Templar in the main.
But why go for it in the first place then with your entire?
No, I mean I still agree with you. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate.
Yeah. I mean I'm also trying to figure it out because I would love to. It was just so weird. It was
a weird game. It was a weird game of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void, now available on PC Macintosh. King's Cove for game number 2. Will MCanning be able to come back Or will he be unable to prevent his future? We're loading in.
We'll find out
7
soon.
seconds in the timer remaining.
All right.
I love WCS.
It's fantastic.
It's good times here in Burbank.
Now, if this game 2 is anything like the last game 2 we saw between
Well,
these two.
the game 2 was on King's Cove as well, remember? So we could be in for... All he needs to do is proxy.
Ooh,
Oh, he's on
they
the
didn't
other
spawn,
side of the
yeah.
map. They swapped spawns, though, for this time.
yeah, I think that's a good sign.
So that means MCanning proxies future then, right? Is that how it works?
I think it might have to be. We'll find out soon.
We'll find out very soon. On the bottom right, leading 1-0, a Red Terran player. He is future.
Wait, this wasn't the DT Blink, was it? No, that was...
No, that was Kairos.
Mhm.
That was game 1 in the last series.
Indeed. And the top left-hand side of the map, playing for Chivo, it is MCanning.
The Can Fam Can.
Indeed. $2,600 to his name.
Nice.
Only competitively. That's
He's
just gotta
made
be
some
challenger, right?
Yeah, but he's made some from Twitch Rivals too. I don't know. That's
Of course,
competitive
yeah.
enough. That's competitive.
It's competitive.
You know. Our Nathanius is up there. Scouting diligence.
Oh, yeah, I remember this.
Yeah, this was the game. He proxy reapered him and then lifted it and pulled that Marauder and researched concussive in his base.
Yeah.
Good times. Good times.
That game was, yeah, from start to finish. Wow, I like in my mind, the game kind of started at the Nexus, but it was crazy before that already. Yeah. All right, let's see what happens.
The
then.
game should have ended at the Nexus.
Yeah. Yeah. We were looking at like the shortest day ever of Challenger, and it turned into like
Quite
a
a
pretty
long
long
one.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, that series stretched really far, and then we had that Rob MCanning PvP took a solid year to get through.
Uh-huh.
So MCanning went for the Cybercore first, blindly. He definitely expected there to be a proxy this game. He starts the Nexus up right after. I mean, he could try to follow the spirit of Rotterdam and just chrono out a bunch of stalkers and try to go across that and put pressure since he went core first. But since Reapers have been a slight problem for him, probably
Yeah, I don't
just
mind this
chrono
at
out.
all.
Maybe just build an Adept and leave it at home. He doesn't
Right,
want
you
to
can
take
chrono.
damage from that Reaper.
Do you need to spend a chrono to make sure that the Adept is in time for the Reaper if you go for the Cybercore first?
I don't think so.
Okay. So this is just overkill, huh? He's expecting the proxy, or?
Well, I
He
think
scouted,
it was,
right? Like-
yeah, he did probe scout. But
Panic.
who can say? MCanning could, but we can't patch comms into him right now. Telepathically, he could speak to us, but he chooses not to. Sometimes his psionic presence overwhelms the minds of mere mortals, so
It makes sense.
I don't want him to fry my brain.
Yeah. Oh, but the Reaper, he
It's-
comes in at the right time.
And that's what that Adept is there for. So he's like, all right, I'm not letting you get out. Might
Oh
still
my God,
get
if he gets a probe.
would be huge.
But he was gonna get it too.
He's close. He's close. Oh! Oh!
Well, he survived. He's gotta be dead,
his
right?
Reaper should be dead.
Yeah. There's a sentry there waiting for him.
Oh!
Yeah, I'm not sure why the Adept stopped chasing there. I guess he just thought the sentry's got this.
That's
MacGyver.
yeah. That Reaper is Indiana Jones. He can't. He just he found a way.
Wait, is it dead?
Pog.
He's going for the Nathanius build.
Oh my God! Walk us through it.
God.
Well, honestly, I think versus Protoss, especially if they don't open Stargate, on this map, it would be way better to rush ranged Liberator, because then you'd have to immediately build a Stargate, and you could block the entire natural mineral line.
Okay.
But it's obviously not as good as BC if MCanning reacts quickly. So I'm expecting it to just be a battlecruiser. I'm actually really excited about that. On this map, there's all the airspace around the edge. Protoss has nothing that can hit a BC from the ground if you go to the edge. So you can safely teleport. But yeah, okay, Ranged Liberator I think also makes sense. Because on this, you can siege half the main mineral line or half the natural mineral line from like multiple spots. And the only way to deal with it for Protoss, you have to get
A starport.
a Stargate.
And MCanning hasn't been, right? Any games throughout
Not
his,
versus
PvT.
Terran.
Yeah. So yeah, good play here from Future. Smart taking note of that. And,
Yeah,
I
hiding the
think
fusion
it's-
core is just really nice because he may not even use it just as harass. He may try to do a push with it, in which case it would be extremely hard to stop because then you really don't have any.
Oh
way to-
no, he opened
Oh
the
my
door.
God.
I mean, he's gonna get a full scout of what's going on here, and that's a lot of Blink Stalkers being shown. Now, is the Liberator ever afraid of this? Only in transit, right? Until he reaches that.
Yeah, well, it's just like the Liberator has to expose itself to cover space for siege tanks to move forward, but with this build, it doesn't. So that's the nice part. And the other thing is, and I'll just throw this out there, he may not even need to do it, right? Like this could just be the worst case scenario if his harass doesn't do anything, because he's going bio. It's not like he's doing a weird mech build where the Stargate.
Can this
is
harass
still
not
useful.
do anything though?
Oh, I think it's guaranteed damage.
Okay.
Because you will have to pull workers off the mineral line unless he sieges it in the wrong spot.
Right. He's aware of the Blink Stalkers, so he shouldn't mess up.
Yeah,
right?
I think the first Liberator's there.
Perfect,
So like
yeah.
there you go. Like Stalkers cannot reach that. He could even move a little further forward, but yeah, it's like there you go. 3 probes guaranteed dead. That Stalker, well. You cannot repair Protoss units. It's quite stupid, I think. And he gets another probe, and there you go. For the rest of the game, probes are going to randomly move over there too.
Yeah, that's what you need. Less than half saturation essentially,
He
which
can
is really
cover-
rough.
He can cover more as well.
Yeah, I don't think he has to, right?
He doesn't need to, but he
Yeah.
could. He could get another one and move forward. But that's see, the Stargate is coming in because he knows that's the Stargate is what he needs, and now he can cut this off right here. He can reach a mineral patch from that top center middle position.
He realizes it. Perfect.
We never see Terrans do this, but this is one of my favorite builds versus Protoss. I don't even do it anymore because I usually just go Battlecruiser because that's my meme, but this is really fun. And he's going to build a Void Ray, so theoretically, if he reacts fast enough, he should only lose one of the Liberators at worst. But he's killed a ton of probes. And remember, he's following up with bio. And the thing is, unlike a Cloaked Banshee, rushing this upgrade, his Liberators for the rest of the game are going to have range.
Right.
You talk about, one of the big things we talk about in Korean like TVP is, oh yeah, he's reached this phase. Now he needs to get lib range so he can push the Protoss army back. Well, he got it already. He got it at the 7-minute mark.
Yeah.
So this Void Ray will probably charge up, but Liberators move much faster than Void Ray. So yeah, I was going to say he should be able to save at least one, and he may be able to save both. But
I mean, there's Stalkers waiting for them on the way out. I think he could save the one at the 3rd if he wanted to.
yeah,
I really like how he was jumping between those 2 bases once he realizes
this map it's the best map in the pool for this build. It is the best. You can do the same thing versus Zerg, except because Queens have 8 range, they can hit the Liberator.
But like
There's
one
only
at
like-
a time type thing.
Yeah, one at a time. But then you have to, I mean, most Zergs build like 12 Queens anyway, so they just
Right.
transfuse it forever and eventually kill the Lib. But yeah, Protoss, you have to have a Stargate to kill ranged Liberators. This build, honestly, that upgrade would get nerfed if every Terran started doing it, just because Protoss players would complain so much.
Yeah.
You'd have to build a Stargate every single game if this build became common.
At least on this map.
At least, yeah, on this map. There was one other map that was kind of like this.
Look at the research
And
production.
Oh my god, he's gonna transition into BCs.
Love it.
I think this is him trying to style on MCanning for those Nation Wars votes.
Yeah, it might be. Also, yeah, also with you as the caster, right? I think
Yeah,
that
he wants to do me proud. That's my boy
he does.
Future.
Yeah.
But if he researches Yamato, okay, let's see. He starts the BC. Think about it though. You made him build a Stargate and a Void Ray, 2 completely useless things versus Bio. Like the Void Ray just dies instantly, and guess what? He could force him to build another Void Ray, if he just or a Phoenix. That DT did wonders. But yeah, he could force him to build another Stargate or another Void Ray if he just made another Liberator. But it doesn't matter. GG, Future does it. Never gets that BC out, and he's going to make it out of this group in 2nd place. Very well done. Love that build.
Yeah.
It's cool. That's the
It was
first
pretty
time.
cool.
It's the first time I've actually seen in a broadcasted match someone Liberator range rush a Protoss. I don't think I've actually seen anyone.
I
do
imagine
it.
if you run into
in-
Phoenix, you just lose though, right?
It's not good against it, but the best part about it is still, no matter what, if you're playing Bio, out of that,
in the mid-game, in a normal situation where it's like, oh yeah, he's got, some tanks, some Liberators and Mines, those Liberators will have range.
Right.
And when they have them with the bio, the Phoenix are not going to deal with the Liberators. So even if it gets shut down, it's such an important upgrade that getting it that early doesn't expose you to the same level of risk. Because if your opponent were to open with a fast Phoenix, if you did that build, they wouldn't be able to kill you from taking your third or your natural. Because the
It's not
Stargate,
a useless tech, right?
yeah, because it's not useless tech. So, yeah. And then at any point, if they stop building air or you kill the air stuff, then you can always just send a Liberator each base. Then they got to build 2 or 3 Phoenix. And the weird thing about the Phoenix is they don't kill them as fast.
Right.
So the Void Ray is much better at killing the Liberator, but it can run away from the Void Ray.
And it has little utility after, right?
Yep. The Void Ray is completely useless against Marines. So, with that being said, let's take another look at our results from today. As we had Estrella make it out in first place, defeating Future 2-1, and Future in the rematch against MCanning clears it out pretty quickly to get himself out of Group A. So very, very well done by our competitors today. Cats, do you have any favorite moments, any final thoughts before we wrap it up? We've got 3 more days of this, so you're not to get emotional yet.
I would say watch game 2 of Future versus MCanning. If you missed it, make sure that you watch it, and probably have other people watch it too, because that was just insane.
Get everyone around
absurd.
the couch to watch that. Yeah, everyone around the TV. So thank you guys so much for tuning in today. That does it for us here from the Blizzard Arena in Burbank, California. From all of us here, we wish you a great day, and you stay classy, Internet. We'll see you tomorrow bright and early for Group B.